big move, you know. Okay. Well.
Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. Yep.
I think I have myself off the mute here. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Nice looking painting. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
I love the foreground.
Oops. There we go. There we go. Yeah.
That's lovely. It is. It's gorgeous.
See, you see what she did here, you guys?
Yeah.
Right here. You see how she used the background to shape the foreground.
Very nicely done.
Yeah. That's some negative painting there. And leaves it positive over here. You don't have to really, you don't have to put every detail in there, but it's nice to have a little yummy details to chew on in the foreground. And then this is plenty. Sky looks great. Wow. Very light watercolor sky. You see how the sky takes you in, down, and across.
Is this lanes?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like a circle. See? And then so you have this sort of sky, this interesting sky pattern. And then you also have this big, as if you have like a lever on a fulcrum here, you know. Let's say the fulcrum is about here. Okay, so can you see how this, let me do all this. We'll do it this way. This big mass here is balanced out by these two masses over here. So as long as you have enough stuff over here, I think, you know, it balances itself out. I wouldn't say this is out of weight or anything, but it's one of the reasons I put the three little small trees over here in mine. Was just because I wanted more of that balance between, you know, this mass here and this mass over here. The three other ones were doing a little bit more. I think yours looks fine now. It didn't really bug me at all when I was looking at it. So those are just things to think about, you know. And oftentimes, if you'll notice, I took this little mass over, you know, over the background here. Yeah. Just to force this up into the foreground. And it's but not much to say about this. Sorry, looks pretty darn. Yeah.
I'll add those little trees. I think they make a difference.
Yeah, I think you could use something over here. I wouldn't make a real big deal out of it. And I might even hide the bottoms behind here. That way you don't have to tell where they're actually coming from, because all you're looking for is just something to add a little more weight to this side. The sky looks so luminous. Very light.
Really nice.
You didn't hit the dark up here like I did, and I think that was a good move.
Nice movement.
A nice piece. You got kind of gray in this color right in here, you know, in this foreground sort of color, and I added a little more blue to mine, and I think you know, because I wanted mine to feel like it was a little more in shadow in here. Yours sort of, you know, it kind of feels like in and out shadows, and that's fine. But just remember, maybe I wouldn't do it now because I don't think it'll. I think it'll just. I don't think a blue is going to show up on it very well. And it looks good. The painting looks good, so I'm being picky, but I might have cast more blue in this middle ground here instead of, that's all.
Good point.
Okay.
Wouldn't a blue wash correct that if the Plein wanted to do it?
You could, but the thing is you're going to be looking through the blue into all this color in the background, and I think that it'll just gray. You could try it though. Maybe give it a little sample area here.
Just the once
Behind-
over.
Yeah, behind what looks like your signature or something right here. Look at that. But yeah, and if you like it, maybe use it. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm being. You know what I did too is I came back later and I threw a couple of little branchy things. If you want to, if you're looking for accents, maybe a couple of little branchy things here and there. They'll show up in the lighter areas like this. They can make a difference. Just touches, and thinner than what I'm doing. But little branchy areas. I was noticing you might want to look at them in the trees and bushes and see if you like it. If not, leave it like it is. We're getting a really sharp sound out of the back. You guys hear that? Sounds like a squeaky wheel or something. What is that?
I don't hear it.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Lynn.
That was
Okay,
really pretty.
Cindy, hey, how's it going?
It's going good. I can
Cool.
already see what I don't like, though.
What don't you like?
The evenness of the two foreground bushes. It needed more diversity.
So, kind of made them like this one.
Yeah,
This
too
one.
much same, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you put a couple more in there to offset them, one over here. Put one right, just like this.
Right.
And then put one right in the center like that.
And that's, you
I would just-
symmetry.
Just
Yeah,
a little bit.
Just a little bit more there would have been better.
And you can scrub that up with a rough brush or something,
Uh-huh.
brush or something, and that's
And,
not. And that's what it is. That's what we're here to do. Is really how do you solve the problem? Everybody has the same problem.
right.
How do you
But
get
that darkness in the grass is beautiful coming in
Yeah,
from the.
it is.
Thank
It
you.
really is. And I like your horizontal strokes. And it makes us feel like, this is more in the foreground and this is more in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And see how they get really close together back here. Yeah. That's what you want to do. Yeah, the grass is great.
Okay.
Isn't it? It's probably really easy too, huh?
Well, I don't know. I think that was just an accident, happy accident.
Uh-huh.
No.
Oh, George.
Oh, George. See, now you do have that little steelyard thing going right there. The big mass being balanced out by the smaller mass.
Mhm.
And now, my little idea of putting the little sticks and things, little branches, you could.
I think it needs,
Maybe you could fill out these trees a little bit occasionally.
right, right.
This is the way I usually like to start them, and then I'll just come back in. And if they look a little scattered, like this one right here is looking just fine.
Right.
Maybe these are a little scattered, so I would just take a couple more just to bring. Especially what happens is you have more branches around the trunk. So if you keep it kind of dense in the center part,
Mm-hmm.
in the center part, and yeah, keep it kind of dense in there, and it'll just come together a little bit better.
Yeah,
All right. Maybe this dark on the hill right here.
too dark?
Yeah, and I know the photograph can really skew that, make it too dark. But see this also functions as a kind of a line, the little line right here you have on the top of the hill, and that's just fine.
Okay,
Yeah, so I would probably lighten that up. I don't think you need it.
yeah, I know, you're right,
Maybe just a value about like this one here.
right, right.
Then you're right. Any kind of detail you want. These
Yeah,
are wonderful little details you got right here.
thank you.
Wonderful. These are great. And then there's always white gouache if you wanted to throw in a couple of white ones, or lighter ones. Sometimes I'll throw them in white. And
Yeah,
then
I'm thinking that that's what it needed to help over there too, is just to,
oh, certainly do that, and then let it completely dry. Maybe with a hair dryer or whatever, and then glaze over.
Mhm.
All
Cool.
right,
Yeah, thanks.
you. Okay. Suzanne, did you say too choppy? I saw that on
Yeah.
the word. Pieces.
Yeah.
That,
Right.
you know what's funny? When I was, man, when I first started, not just watercolor, but any kind of painting, I can remember early on, I did everything really choppy. Everything really, really choppy. And then what happens is that you start seeing all these chops as just as areas that you can just kind of bring together. Instead of seeing pieces and parts, you start seeing wholes. It's not bad though. This isn't bad. Yeah, it's not easy to get things to hold together as a mass. So what that usually means is you need an in-between value. Sort of, so maybe the breaks in between light and shadow back here are too much.
Uh-huh.
Just throw like maybe a warm glaze or something over the lights.
Okay.
Get that to hold together. This hill right here seems to be holding together just fine. You have some little breaks like this, but I think they're working okay.
Uh-huh.
If not, maybe you could just take another subtle glaze over some of those lights and bring it back to where it's not so dramatically light and dark.
Right.
That's fine though.
Sky is beautiful. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You got a lot of pop out of that sky.
Wow. Okay.
And that's really what the photograph was really doing. It was really popping. So as you can see, Lynn had a really light sky. Mine's kind of medium, and yours is you went for it on the top here. Maybe the light sky was better. I don't know. You just go with what you like. This has a lot of drama to it, so I like this. Not one way to do things.
Rob, couldn't choppy be a style?
Yeah, it sure could. You're darn right about that. It sure could.
George is the ever diplomat.
I actually like it this way because it leaves a lot to the imagination, especially where you're running off of the edge of the page. It's like it's leaving your eye the ability to fill in, and I kind of like that.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay.
I love this bush right here. This bush is just, look at that. It's just big watermark. That's one big watermark. And and it's just going all out in exactly the right directions. How'd you get that to do that? Did you do that on purpose, or did you just go with it?
Oh, lucky.
That was a yes.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Next time you want to say, oh, yeah, well,
Of course.
I mean, been doing this stuff for years. Okay, you put down the block and just plop it in there. That's a good bloom right there. Look at that. So now here's the lesson here. Let's see if I can get this a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Let me
Oh.
move that over. Okay.
Yeah.
Happened is there's more pigment. Let me put my little arrows in here. There's a lot of pigment here, and what happens is that there's even more water here. So the water is pulling the yellow paint out into the water. If that makes any sense. There's more water here. There's ample pigment here.
Uh-huh.
What's happening is that it's pulling it out. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever overpowers the other. No, oh, that's what's happening. I'm so sorry, I did that wrong. What's happening here is, did that wrong. Let me put my yellow here. You have a lot of yellow paint here.
Uh-huh.
Right? And less water here. Okay, so the where there's the more water, it'll push into the lesser.
Oh, okay.
So what's happening here is that the yellow is pushing its way into the water, and that's what's creating that bloom.
Fine. Okay.
So you lay down some water. Sorry, you lay down some. You could do this a series of different ways, but in this case, maybe you lay down the yellow and then you put some water on the outside
Uh-huh.
and moved into it. Gave you a really nice bloom. Long explanation.
Yeah.
Practice that.
Suzanne, just continue with your style and see what happens.
Okay. That's beautiful. I'll go into mosaics.
Now, one thing here, do you notice you have the 4 trees right next to each other?
Uh-huh.
What I might do occasionally is just either pull a tree into another tree and maybe pull some of this bottom stuff up and over, so you get a touch of overlapping here and there.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little overlapping.
Okay.
Yeah, because they usually don't grow right next to each other. You know, I mean, in farmlands, they kind of do sometimes because they plant them that way, but you still want a little overlapping.
Okay.
And I was thinking the same thing for the foreground plantings. They tend to be symmetrical a little bit, or the white spaces.
Oh, the white spaces. I can see that. Yeah, you can break that up. Maybe put some of your dark stuff up and over that. That's a good.
Okay.
And then,
You know, when you zoom in on that, that is really lovely. I mean, when Rob zoomed in on that center piece there, that was really nice.
Yeah.
I don't think it mattered that it was choppy.
you know,
No.
this is something that's kind of hard to do with your own eye too. You really gotta really, you took it really deep.
Is that? Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
Isn't that a great way to look at a painting? You just can't do, I can't do this kind of crit any other way. Really.
Wow.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah.
You did that, Susan.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
So I was gonna say in this little area right here, with the blue around it, maybe, you know, they're all the same size, so I might vary the size a little bit and add a touch of overlapping here and there possibly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I may have to sneak, I'll stay as long as I can. I may have to sneak out early,
It's okay.
drive the distance, but anyway, I'll stay as long as I can. So I'm hoping to get as many of your beautiful works as possible. Otherwise, sorry.
You get them in the crit. You'll get them in the recording.
Yeah.
Okay, so very, very uneven looking,
Rob,
Lots of-
are you recording? I don't see it.
Oh gosh, I did it again, you guys. Jeez. Oh boy.
You have to go back and do it again.
Gosh, I have to get out of here. Why do I always do that?
Rob, I have a recording here.
It's our fault for not reminding you.
Thank you, Henry.
You're welcome.
So if anyone needs to, I'll refer them to your webpage. Or your YouTube page.
Actually, we are live on YouTube.
We are? Oh, cool. Do we have like thousands of people watching us?
Let me check.
Okay. Really nice, intuitive, very intuitive looking watercolor. This is what the water does for you. It just makes it moves the paint around in a way that you really wouldn't do on your own.
I
This is what
can't
happened.
see the painting.
Rob, which one are you?
But
Yeah.
Oh. Guess I did it here. So yeah, looking very intuitive, very, very intuitive the way you did that. Look at the way she lets the water just run into the land back here. That's fine. It's really intuitive. And it does that too. And then the way I love it when I see, okay, you can see the land behind it, right through the trees, like right in your trees. Like, I could see it right in there. I mean, in the beginning, I used to think, well, that's not factually correct, but later on I learned to just appreciate things like that. Just the ease of it. Yeah, but it's good. It's so, and so she, instead of dry brushing it like I did, she just went for a big, like a wetter stroke, and that's how you get these edges. And that works too. There's certainly like 1,000 different ways to do this painting, but I really like that. I think you could have had see these floaters right here? Maybe a couple more around there. Thinking about this edge, I wouldn't mind maybe softening the edge or something. So it comes out maybe more like that. Are you using some white in there?
No,
Yeah, I might throw a little in here. That'll soften it. Yeah. And these little floaters make a big difference. So I could see even a couple up here if you like. And then where your light hits the mountain here and here. I like those, but I might glaze them down a little bit, just like a one value less.
Yeah.
So it's not so contrasting. And so in other words, so it still holds as a mountain,
Yeah.
Because if you get them too light, it almost looks like you're looking through the mountain into the background, Like there's a hole in the mountain or something. I've done that. In fact, I'm looking at a couple of mine. I think they could use it a couple of places too. Let's see. Yeah, can you guys see what she did here is she took her bushes up and over the background, still letting little areas of water come through. I think that's great. I could see this one even coming up and over the background, up and over the background, maybe a little more like. Totally up to you, but I usually don't like to stop right where the land starts.
yeah, I noticed that.
So then instead of, rubbing it out, which will cause another problem probably, I would just take a little bit more, just a couple sticky things up and over. Let's see. right
Yeah,
now.
the foreground looks a little unfinished.
So do you think maybe sort of shadow cast over it or something?
Maybe.
Yours is light enough. Where,
What I kind of started to do in the paint, and then I didn't know how to take all the color away.
yeah, I know. It's everything is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Not bad the way it is. It's not bad. So
Mhm.
it's really. But if you wanted to throw a glaze over that, you know, you might. I can still see a little bit of pink through that, but I don't know. That's your choice. Maybe this yellow in the sky here
Mhm.
is kind of strong, maybe a little dark.
Yeah.
Although, you know, I've seen almost everything happen in the sky. I mean, sometimes, you know, you'll get a cloud casting a shadow over other clouds and they just get dark. But I don't know. I think those feel a little dark. And then I could see possibly a little bit of something darker. A little bit of something darker in the base of these.
Yeah, I was trying, but I had too much water. It wouldn't dry.
Yeah,
Now that it's dry, I can do that.
right, yeah. I just take a little glaze over there. Sometimes I'll put it on a little bit hard, a little too much, and then I'll add a little water to it to see what I like, and then I just sit there with my good old paper towel. If it's too much and if it's not working, I just dab it out, let it dry, and start over. But I usually start it off a little strong, then take a little bit away by adding water. Okay. I think this is nice. I could see maybe a little transitionary value in here.
Mhm.
You got the dark, right? You got the dark at the bottom, and then it just goes to light. I could see like a subtle halftone right through there. So not quite as dark as these dark guys. Definitely not as light as this. It's something just lighter, just lighter than the rest of this shadow right here. So it goes from. It really gives us a feeling of a top and this more of a side.
Mm.
That makes any sense? Okay.
All right, thank
Good.
you.
You are welcome. Agree. Hey,
Oh, pretty.
pretty.
Wow, nice. Oh, that looks great.
It looks.
Very pretty.
Remember in the comp when I said if I were to do something a little bit different in my comp, I would add a little more red. Because you have a lot of no. So you have a lot of blue and a lot of like yellow green. Really, the only other color is a touch of, I see touches of red in there. Nice. Those are nice. Leave those. I would just glaze, not pure red or anything, but something reddish. Little touches of red here. You got a nice touch of red right there. I think that's great. Little touches of red just to break that up. The yellow, green everywhere. Just a little bits of red here and there. Maybe down in here. I'll use my red here. Little reds in there. Maybe a little touch in the light there. I love what you did with the. She's got a really attractive duality thing going on here. Watch. So you've got the dark over light right here. Dark tree over the light background, and then look what she's got here. The light branches over the dark background.
Love it.
Yeah. Usually when you have a duality like that in a piece, that usually just makes for something more attracting to the eye. I look for it. I try to get it in every piece. I could certainly see me going back in with some lighter branches like you did right there. So I may have to rip you off again.
My goodness.
I'm always ripping you off. But yeah, maybe some lighter branches in the foreground for me. I'm sitting here using your piece to keep myself. So yeah, that's a nice piece. I like the dry brushy look personally around these kinds of things. Because you get kind of hard edge. I could see just maybe trying a little bit of dry brushing along these edges, because it's such a brushy thing we were painting, you know.
Right.
I think they call it brush.
I was using a round brush and I find that I think I probably should use something different.
Now, if you use less water though, less water in there, you won't get such a hard edge.
Okay.
You just kind of skim the surface, and that'll give you brushing. Nice clouds. See the little yellow in the clouds is a good. I could see, yeah, you did it here too. Little touches of yellow in the light.
I just like to throw color whenever I can kind of throw some color. Sometimes it gets me in trouble. And sometimes it works.
You gotta take a chance, right? No dare, no flare. Definitely. All right. I think this is good. And then any kind of accents you wanted to put in, maybe a couple of little sticky things hanging off the sides here. Occasionally, maybe not like that, maybe more growing out of it or something. I know I put the three kind of trees in the background on other people's. You know, I'm not so sure you need it because we do have this overlapping that, and it is offsetting this pretty nicely. So if you were going to put any trees or something back here, I don't think you need to come all the way up here or anything. Maybe just like this, and lighter, much lighter in value than I just did that. See how this works. I don't have the right value. This thing doesn't have a very good palette. But anyway, yeah, I can see a couple of them. And if you decide to do that, I wouldn't, like for instance, I wouldn't put a tree right here and stop it right there.
Right.
You know, it looks, I don't know, it looks, people don't know whether it's a branch coming out of this tree. So I would just put them lighter and behind. I don't think you need it though. See how you kind of did this? Kind of did that. So I, a couple of little straggly things along the edges, you know, a couple of little straggly things. I look for, you know, I might start something off in a very contained shape, you know, or maybe like this, you know, but then I'll loosen up the edges and I'll just add a couple of little straggly things along the edges to break it up, break up the containment. Okay.
Right.
Right.
Thank you.
Henry.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, now you're getting into some opaque stuff in the background, right?
Yeah, that's squash.
Yeah. It feels like the light. It feels like the light is coming, you know, and hitting back here, and then bouncing up into the back of his tree. And light would do that. I mean, he chose to keep his foreground in light, and now look, he's got a dark. Let me go ahead. He's got dark bushes in the foreground up against a light area, right?
Yes.
So it's just the opposite, right? Now he's got, so he's got the dark here on the light. Very nice.
Thank you.
Light. I really think your water works behind these trees very much.
Thanks.
That really works. I think you hit just enough blue back there. Right in there?
Yeah.
Just enough blue, really make it feel like water.
It's really nice.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
now look how intuitive this is, you guys. See look at all the dry brushing here, right? Dry brushing here, and at the same time, wet into wet all over the place too.
Yeah.
See the blooms in the sky?
I used a very large soft brush. If you can see
soft
my
brush.
video, this are the two brushes I used for those, even the trees. I used this brush. It's called Super Wash, and I used this short-handled wrist brush for the sky.
Yeah.
So I don't have to reload. Almost, you can do it the entire block in one wash.
You can really move fast on a painting that way.
Yeah.
I like the yellow in the clouds too.
Yeah, that's a little gouache. Actually, it's an opaque Naples yellow, I think.
Naples.
Yeah.
Naples yellow. That Naples yellow really looks yellow. Wow. Actually, Naples yellow has a little bit of Chinese white.
Yeah, it's basically white with ochre, I think.
Oh, is that it? Yeah, white. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So it is a fairly opaque color. Anyway, nice looking. I mean, this is really nice. You see the little accents of red, little red accents. Got red here, little red accents all over, even in the background. So you have enough. You've got your blues, your yellows, your kind of yellowy greens, and enough red to balance that out. Enough red to balance that out.
Yeah, I highlighted the yellow in the middle with lemon yellow and at the last, just like you did. Basically, I followed all your tips.
You guys, you see how he's got the light on dark sticks here, and then the dark on light sticks here. And look how vague it is. It doesn't put that's almost pure abstraction down there. I mean, you want to see something? Watch this. You know, Jackson Pollock, eat your heart out. Look at that.
If you,
It's when you get up into there, that's really abstract.
if you guys can look at my video. I get a more abstract. The color rough I did. It's just one stroke. So you can look at this.
Yeah. If you can, you guys, maybe take a photograph of your work and look at it like this. And look at that. Even your blue in the sky looks like it's overlapping each other. And it could be, you could have subtle clouds doing something like that.
It's a wet into wet, like flower.
And look what he did with his trees right here. He took it behind here, right? Took it behind the bush, and then he went ahead and took it over the background. So he took it over the lake, right into the other side. So that really makes this feel like it's in front of that. You get a lot of depth that way. I could see possibly making this a little bit lighter.
Okay.
Because it kind of it competes with these values in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't go darker with these. I would go just a little lighter. All you do is you just take a little water, put it on there, and blot it.
Oh, I see. So I don't need to use gouache, just blotting. Okay, great.
You could certainly use gouache. Gouache would work really well on that too.
Okay, I just
In fact,
blot.
maybe your idea is better.
Okay, I'm doing
yeah.
it right now.
Yeah, the gouache, I think, is your land back here. This land back here is just working. Wow, that works great. Now, see the white he's got here? See, he's also got white here, and he's got white here, and he's got so much white all over the place that I would just leave it because it's a theme. Using the white of the paper. Now you've got so much white of the paper all over the place. You got it all over the front, all over everywhere. That it works as a kind of theme. We call it the broken stroke look. It's just broken. It's a very impressionistic way to do things. That whole broken idea comes from the Impressionists. laying down just enough for your eye to feel impressed. So, whereas I might have told other people and even me, I wouldn't overlap this with a little bit of value. I think it's just fine to leave that.
Okay.
Yeah, here too. I would, because we left so much white of the paper, I didn't leave very much white on my paper. I would just leave it. Yeah.
I like Charles Reed. He does
Yeah.
that a lot.
Yeah, Charles Reed
Yeah.
is a really good artist. You should all buy his books or just look at them. And it's R-E-I-D. There's an artist who probably taught millions of painters with his books and his videos and everything.
Yeah, his figure drawing book is very good. You recommended it last time.
Yeah,
I bought that one too.
I think he was making those books in the 70s.
Yeah, that's the early one. It's very nice.
Yeah. So really,
I have all his videos too.
yeah. Oh, you do? Wow.
Yeah.
So Rob, the quality of its paper really shows up.
It's arches.
It seems to me
Uh-huh.
that it gives a texture because that when I'm looking, I'm sorry guys, I'm like zooming in here, but it gives extra added variation in color because the pigment pools. Am I wrong about that? I mean, it's like it pools in each one of those little. Even
Yeah.
what he's doing is wet on wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a arches rough. Arches rough can do this layering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that adds a whole beautiful dimension there.
Yeah. So what's happening is by dry brushing, this is dry brushing right here. Okay, now what's happening is that the brush, by dragging it over the top, you're just touching the tops of the paper. And then what's in between are these little valleys. That's the deep part, is that's the yellow, the light yellow in between. So that's what dry brushing is, just dragging over the top, and you get marks like this. They're really broken.
Yeah, and even where it's wet and wet though, it's like you can see that the pigment pools. Like
Right.
even the variation, even in the light green, where
Yeah.
he hasn't dry brushed over, it's like there's little variations because the pigment is so cooling in those areas.
Yeah, it has a more granulation effect.
Right. Yeah.
Granulation. Yeah.
Granulation.
Yeah. That's the first time I've.
Yeah, because I paint flat on table. I cannot do it outside if it's vertical. Because when you have a lot of, just let it form a pool and let it dry, it will granulate. So like you said, the same paints will dry differently with a different amount of pigmentation.
What kind of paper is it?
Ultra's rough. Let me show you it's the orange color. Do you see can you see my video there? Yeah.
Is that like 140 pounds?
Yeah, 140 pound. This size is, I think this is a loose pad. It's less expensive than the bound one. Not the block. It's 11 by 16, roughly.
And you can get those cheap on Amazon. I've seen them as little. I bought them as little as $14.
Yeah, to just buy this loose bond, like you can put a tape yourself. It's not coming with the block. The block is more expensive. I even got some lighter weight, but you have to buy from UK, I think. They don't sell it here. The lighter weight, the 90 pound ones.
Cold pressed paper.
Yeah, it's regular cold pressed rough.
It's rough. It's rougher than cold press. It's not cold press. Actually, it's rough. It's just called rough.
Oh, okay.
It says rough here. See this? Yeah.
It's like a dog. Guys, you see the blue he put in here? Can you see this blue?
Beautiful.
Kind of an opaque blue.
Yeah, that's that's a Viridian blue, I think. Viridian blue in Holbein. It has a whole bunch of color that I use with white in it already.
Looks like you could use white and ultramarine blue and get pretty close to the same.
Yeah, you can add white to cobalt to get something.
Yeah, cobalt, yeah.
Mm.
Okay,
Thank you.
nice work. I don't know how to.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Good lesson. I just follow exactly your steps.
Move on.
If you
Oh, by the way, Henry, now that I have you on here, if you let me just. Oh, no, I'll talk to you about it like some other time.
okay, sure.
I was trying to stamp my my watercolor with your stamp.
Oh,
You made me a stamp.
you have to dampen it because the surface. If you use rough paper like this,
Oh,
it's
that's
not,
why. Okay,
yeah.
that's.
Yeah, just stamp when you stamp.
Um,
The pigment we use for stamping is oil based, so you will not bleed.
Can you guys see my
wet.
artwork? Do I have my artwork pinned up there?
Oh, I see that. It works. Okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tried to do it right here. See it?
Yeah, it works. Okay, great. Yeah.
Henry made me this this little stamp.
Yeah.
So that's my name in Chinese.
Uh-huh. 谢里尔, Sherrill.
Yeah. So yeah, and he makes these. He makes these, you guys.
Yeah.
He actually made this for me.
Yeah.
He carved this in and carved it. It's called soapstone. Then he showed me how to write my name in Chinese. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
I want to copy that like right here. Would that be good? Right up the side? I'll keep practicing.
Yeah,
That's what I didn't do. Okay.
uh-huh.
All right. All right.
That looks nice. Great.
Okay, let's get back to the crit. And thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Katie. All right. All right. Okay, just right away. Nice looking. You know, I don't ever have a problem with your color. You're pretty adventurous with color. And you know that is true of so many artists that love to paint. Okay. So neat colors. I like this. I really like this background color. You've got like red, almost red. You got a red, a yellow, and a red, yellow, and a blue back there. The yellow, the blue, and the red. Nice to see the yellow, red, and blue in the sky.